Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Plant Code podcast. I am Max, and today I am joined by Sky, the founder and the head chef of the world's biggest vegan restaurant. Sky, welcome to the Plant Code podcast.
Hi.
So,
thank you for having me, first of all.
My pleasure. I mean, I'm flattered of all the podcasts in the world that you could have chosen. You choose to lose your podcast Veganity on mine.
Well, it's been a while.
Well,
it's long overdue. Yeah.
So at what point did you decide you were going to open the world's biggest vegan restaurant?
Well, when I started the meal plans, I created so many new dishes, so many recipes, because the menu kept changing every 2 weeks. And then by the time I wanted to write out the menu, it was just so diverse. So I wanted the best of everything. I wanted Mexican food, Italian food, French cuisine, Arabic dishes. I wanted it all, and then it just accumulated.
Yeah.
So then originally the first draft was over 400 dishes. And then everyone's like, you're crazy, go away. Not happening.
Yeah. I mean, it does seem like a huge menu. Right now, you're going for what, 250, is it?
Yeah, 250.
And you get your Guinness Book of Records certificate?
Yes. So they come, they try out the food. I guess not 250. They're not going to eat that much.
They better pay for it if they do.
I just want the award. It's all right.
Will you put it on the wall or what?
No, I don't know. We'll probably put it on a counter somewhere.
What does it look like anyway? What's the award?
It's just a certificate.
Okay.
And I guess we'll be in the book.
Nice. Do you actually relate to the word vegan?
Vegan has many the word vegan has a lot of definition to it.
So what does it mean to you?
Purity means being pure on the inside. It's not just what you show the world. It's not just what you eat. It's how you exude the pureness to society, to the animals, to the culture, to yourself, to your body, to your soul.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of where the name came from for you, isn't it?
Yeah, the veganity kind of came as rebirth, because I felt like when I became a vegan, I was reborn somehow. Like it saved my life in a lot of ways. So I felt like I was reborn. So it just worked.
Yeah. So what, reborn from what exactly?
From life.
Yeah?
From life. I feel like we're too busy consumed with a hypocritical life where we have to conform to society, where we allow the tensions of the world to actually affect us in so many ways that you forget who you are. You forget how to act, you forget how to behave, you forget your ethical point of views, you forget your own principles. And then I just feel like coming from, especially like I'm half Iraqi, half British, so I'm a mix of both worlds, especially, and I've been living in Dubai for 10 years now, so you get really lost.
Yeah.
Especially when you're surrounded by over 200 different ethnicities, so you don't know where you belong. So you try to conform to this type of group or that type of group, or the people that are partying, or the people that play sports or music or whatever world that you come from. And then you forget who you are. And it's like it chips a bit of your soul every time you have to keep jumping. So it plays a major factor.
So do you know who you are now?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. If you had to describe yourself in one sentence, what would it be? That's a really tough question because I can't answer it. That's why I'm asking you. Because I feel like everyone, especially of our generation through the age, gets lost looking for themselves. And that's why if you found your rebirth, how can other people do that?
You have to find something that gives you peace. If you find that one thing, no matter how small or big or whatever it is, where you can put your head at night on your pillow and sleep peacefully, then that's your thing.
Yeah. And for you, what's that?
Veganity.
Yeah. But is it the business itself, or is it more creating
No,
dishes?
it's the way of life that it allowed me to live. It's my dishes, it's my creation, it's my I feel like it's my art that I put into food. When I came up with these dishes, it's flavors, it's textures, it's a whole philosophy behind everything that I did, So it's basically all my happiness, all my trauma, all my life experience put onto a plate.
Yeah.
That's what it is for me.
So would you say you are more of a creative person and your passion is in the kitchen, or would you say you're more of a business person?
Oh, creative, for sure. I suck at business. I really do. Like, I don't see operations. I don't see like measurements. I don't see things that in the business world, which is very important. So I'm really grateful and thankful. I have a really strong team. We basically coexist together, and we all segregated our own parts. So for me, like, I just want to be in the kitchen. I don't want to be bothered with, oh, how much did we make today, or what did we do today, or what is this and what is missing, or the logistics of it. I feel like I can't, even though I want to know, I get my reports and all of that, that's when I'll know, but I don't want to focus on that because it will take away my creativity of what I want to do. I can't perfect a dish. I can't make sure the quality is good. I can't like see through what's in my brain if I have to worry about numbers.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
And because when the idea of Veganity popped out, or at least when it popped out to the public, and we saw about it for the first time on Instagram, and we saw it through the newspapers that were all getting like clickbait, you know, through the world's biggest vegan restaurant and all that stuff. First of all, it was misleading because everyone thought it was going to be the physical location would be the biggest. Yeah. Whereas, I mean, the physical location, it's pretty big, but it's not.
I didn't even announce that. I didn't even say. All I said was I have the largest menu, and then just went like wildfire.
Yeah, people have taken that from largest menu to world's biggest restaurant.
Yeah, and to be fair, what's even more funny is the largest space-wise vegan restaurant is in Syria.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
It's in Syria, and it fits around 3,000 people capacity, and it has over 1,500 staff working.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's open 24 hours.
I want to go there.
Yeah, I know. Who knows? Syria.
You know what it's called?
No, I'll get the
I'll
get
have to check
name.
it. I'll put a link to it. That's amazing. So, because no one really knew much about you.
Yeah.
No one, even now, no one really knows who you are. Not many people actually recognize you. You've kind of kept out of that public eye, whereas everyone wants to talk to you, including myself. Like, here we are.
Yeah.
Because people are just so excited about Veganity. Why do you think Veganity is like blown up beyond your control, really?
Because it focused on the brand itself. It didn't focus on an individual. So I didn't make it about me. I made it about an actual concept. I made it about a movement. So by having Veganity, having the meal preps, it started out as a meal prep. It focused more on that. It focused on the color pink. It focused on, like, you know, so many different aspects of it. I didn't want it to be about me because it was never about me. From day one, it was never about me. Like, okay, yeah, I cook. Yeah, I created my dishes, but without my team, without my drivers, without my operations, without nothing would have existed.
Yeah.
It really wouldn't.
And would you identify yourself as a role model for vegans or not?
Because
a lot of people do look up to you. I mean, I've been in the restaurant when people have come up to you and hugged you and started crying. And people have flown in from Bali, from China, from all over the world, just to eat at your restaurant and to meet you. And they're very inspired by what you've done. Were you expecting that at the beginning?
No, I didn't, because I didn't see it in that point of view. Like, okay, I haven't been a vegan for a decade or whatever. It's been, a few years? But for me, like I said, I did it for myself. I didn't do it for the public. But when I started doing the meal preps in the restaurant, it became for the public. But because I was so consumed in the kitchen, I didn't anticipate people's reactions. I didn't anticipate, like you said, like people would come crying and this, the animals, thank you. Okay, I'm a humanitarian and I love animals, but I never put it in the way the animals thank you. Like one human being, like you can thank one human being for the whole animal's existence, or survival.
Well, if you think every time someone comes into your restaurant, is eating in your restaurant, that's an animal that's not dying. So you could technically look at it from that. But would you say that you're catering to vegans or to non-vegans, or you just catering to just putting out food that you love and that you like?
For both. Because I didn't open the restaurant didn't open just to entertain vegans. Because that word doesn't exist for me. It's just a word.
Yeah.
Okay, like I said, it's a way of life. So for people that want to enjoy good, clean, healthy food, whether it's fried or not, whether it's whole food, raw, fruitarian, whatever it is, I have it. So you just pick and choose whatever you want. But for non-vegans, it's amazing to see their reaction and for them to actually be like, I can do this. I enjoy it. It tastes just like what I would eat when my mom used to cook it. Yeah. And that's the reaction I want. I want people to feel like you don't have to go the extra mile just to feel normal, because we are made to feel abnormal somehow when we're more normal than anyone. You know, like I get people to be like, oh, you're gluten free, or you have this, or you have a deficiency in this and that. But we kind of don't. Like, I never realized how much of a concern our health was until after I went into a plant-based lifestyle. No one cared about it before. No one asked me, oh, are you okay? Do you have enough fibers? Do you have enough fat in your diet? Do you have this? I'm like, no, I eat. That's what I do.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't know much about nutrition, do we? And have so many ideas that we kind of think we know, and this misconception about protein, about all this, usual stuff that's complete lie. But I think people are changing towards it. And you make all of your plant-based meats from scratch.
Yes.
But would you say that a plant-based burger that you make is healthier than a meat burger?
Yeah, by far.
Yeah?
The fact that it only has 5 ingredients in it and it's not processed.
I don't want to give away your secrets,
but... Yeah. No, my main, like I'm openly saying to everyone or whoever asks, like my main ingredient for most of my vegan meats or whatever is TVP. Because it's so easy to manipulate.
TVP being textured vegetable protein. Yeah. Which is basically what?
It's based out of soy proteins.
Yeah.
Soy isolate.
Okay.
Which is the non-estrogenic type of soy, which is actually really good for you.
Okay, that's good. Because even the estrogen that's in soy, it's plant-based estrogen anyway, so it doesn't impact your body the same way that animal estrogen does.
It is, but at the same time, because there's so much manipulation, whether like we're saying, okay, everything with GMO is bad for you because it's genetically modified and all of that. Anything with mass consumption will be genetically modified, including soy products. That's why everyone's like, oh, I don't want to have soy. I don't want to eat this. I don't want to have that. Tofu is bad for me. And like, it is and it isn't. If it's a soy isolate component, that is really good for you. And it has so many medicinal benefits for your body. But if it's not a soy isolate product, then no, it's genetically modified, 100% guaranteed.
Okay.
And soy isolate is what was the component what the Asians used to have hundreds of years ago. And it was at its raw natural form.
Because when you launched your first menu, it was quite stripped down to the burgers, and people have this misconception that burgers, especially plant-based patties, are processed.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything transformed, technically you can call it processed.
No, just because it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck doesn't make it a duck.
What does it make it then?
It makes it whatever you want it to be.
Yeah. Because people do still say that all those plant-based options are very unhealthy. But the ones that you're putting out there, you also have the meal preps.
Yeah.
Which is obviously calorie counted, and you're catering to all different kinds of diets. People who want to do weight loss, they want to gain weight, or whatever.
Yeah.
So you do know the macros of all of it, don't you?
Yeah. But because, like I said, because my menu, especially for meal plans, it's not like a normal meal plan. The menu changes completely every 2 weeks, and I don't repeat dishes unless it's requested. So it's really hard to calculate specific macros for each division, for each dish, because by the time we calculate it, we're on to the next menu. So what we did was we calculated the macros for each weight plan. So for weight loss, you have your certain specific macros. For maintenance, for weight gain, for bulking, so you have that. And at the same time, if you have your own specified macros that your trainer is giving you, or what you know that you should be taking, then you're more than welcome to give it to my team, to whoever's in the meal prep operations, and they will sort it out for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And obviously, I haven't mentioned it yet, but you can find Veganity on Instagram at Veganity. Not really much of a surprise. On Facebook as well. You're doing well, actually. You're trending.
Yeah.
Hitting almost 14,000 followers.
Yeah.
Exciting.
It is. It really is.
Do you use Instagram as like your main platform for communication? Or?
Yeah. Like, we just started using Facebook like a few weeks ago.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy how much you can do through Instagram as well. Do you like take orders through DMs? And
that's crazy. Because when we launched the delivery platforms with Talabat and Zomato and all of that, it didn't reach the range to everyone. And like, I feel like I'm blind. Sometimes I get so excited. I just want like to post on Instagram and be like, oh, we've launched, like you can deliver now. And then you find people in Marina, but like, we want to order. Like, you didn't think about us at all. So no, we ended up getting our own drivers and all of that. So you can either order from Instagram. And I feel like that was more, I like being me, or let's say my team, or whoever, like everyone that handles social media. I feel like we feel more connected when we directly talk to people, you know, opposed to just calling in the restaurant or just be like, oh, can we do this and that and this. We feel more that we contribute more to helping people out, you know, like if someone does want something towards Marina or to Palm Jumeirah or Barsha or where this and that, and no, we would like to be there and to talk to them. We would like to tell them what our specialities are. We'd like to tell them like, oh, you should get this and try that, you know. It's more personal.
Yeah, it's a great tool for that, social media.
Yeah.
And it's funny because most of the time is actually you answering those messages as well, isn't it? Directly at the moment.
For a while it wasn't. At the beginning it was 100% me. And then it was also my sister who was working with me and two of my other team members as well. They were answering. And then for a brief period of time, for a good 6 months maybe, I just completely disappeared because I didn't want to be involved anymore. I didn't want to handle. It was a headache.
So what actually motivates you to do those double shifts, to go from like the restaurant all day, then you go in the evening to the meal preps, and then you're up again at like 8 o'clock in the morning answering these DMs, emails, the questions, like even the dumbest questions that you're going to get like 6 times a day. Like,
are you vegan?
is the menu vegan? Is the food... it's written in the name, but that's totally fine. So what actually drives you to keep going?
My passion for it. I feel like without it, it came to a point, without it, I feel like it became my purpose. It became my purpose to want to wake up in the morning. When you have something that you look forward to waking up in the morning, it makes your life that much happier.
Yeah.
Like no matter how exhausted I am, no matter how tired, and I say like, screw it, I don't want it. I'll just be like, no, you know? Like I want to be there. I want to cook my food. I want to make sure everyone, I want to see the look on people's faces, the same look when I try something for the first time, be like, yum, like it's so good. And that's the reaction I want. And I can't do that if I just left it to my staff. I can't do that. I can't control that. What if something went wrong? At the end, I take the blame for it, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't like leaving things to chance, which is actually good and bad at the same time, because like now we're focusing on the franchise models, and everyone's like, so what are you going to do? If you can't delegate the responsibilities and you can't delegate your food to the staff or the trainees, how are you going to franchise? You're going to be in all the locations at the same time? So I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Yeah, it's true. If you want to maintain that passion and transmit that passion through, and you're going to be growing and you're expanding quite quickly, aren't you, over the next year or two?
Yeah.
How are you going to keep that personal touch, your passion throughout all of your franchises?
I think I'm going to take control of the UAE models, and for the international models or the regional models, I'm going to not lessen the menu, but make it more of a cost-efficient, friendlier model. So instead of having 250 dishes, I'll have the best 100 dishes.
Yeah.
You know, that still keeps me as the largest vegan menu, but at the same time, it will be easier to franchise, because at the end of the day, it all comes from my central kitchen. I can't teach my taste buds. I can't teach my way of thinking, my spices, because one thing, I know every chef is probably going to kill me for this, I don't believe in measurements. I can't tell you, oh, I have 1 tablespoon of this and 1 teaspoon of that. I'm like, no, it's all about taste buds. And I make, literally, the way I train my staff is so vicious. It's so vicious. Like, I would make them try a dish, make them recreate the dish, make them taste it 1,000,000 times and I'll have my version right next to them until they understood what it was. Because I don't believe because everything could be under-seasoned or over-seasoned, or whoever they want it. Like, how many times I make a dish and I think it's perfect, and then someone will be like, oh, can you give me some salt?
Do you get offended when they say it?
No, because everyone has different taste buds.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, these things are really minor, but if the essence of how the dish is supposed to taste is there, then it's there.
So if you create all these recipes without measurements, then how are people going to transmit them into all of the other restaurants?
But that's why I said the franchise models are different.
Yeah.
So let's say, okay, they're going to be serving burgers, or like my vegan chicken or my vegan fish. That's already, we're making it in wholesale, in bulk, all of that. So that goes from the central kitchen. But for the other base of the recipes, I will teach the base of it, And like I said, whatever chef for that specific location will go through an intense training.
Okay. And you do call it chicken, beef and fish on your menu, don't you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they're beautiful creatures.
They are. But a lot of people don't like that association.
Look, there are many types of vegans. There are the vegans, they became vegan for their health. There are vegans, they became vegans because of the animals. There are vegans that became vegans for the trend. You don't know. For me, I started out because it was selfish. I wanted to cure myself. And eventually, it went on to the humanitarian aspect of things. It went on to, okay, no, this actually exists. Like, I always knew it existed. Animal cruelty existed. I understood testing on animals. Like, I hated it even since I was a kid. I even remember, like, growing up, I used to play semi-professional tennis. And I remember one time my mom made duck, and I saw the head of the duck. And I looked at her, I'm like, I'm never touching this. And that was my favorite dish growing up. So I was like, I'm not touching this again. I was like, I'm becoming a vegetarian, you know? And I remember we walked into Sainsbury's. I was like, mushroom hot dogs and I don't know what. And my dad's like, but where are you going to get your protein from? How are you going to train? How are you going to do this? And I'm like, that's it. Like, I always felt like there was something wrong consuming animal products. Especially, like, my whole life, I felt like I kept getting sicker. Or every time I ate, I felt bloated. I couldn't run. I couldn't do anything. And then it's only till the past few years I realized what was in the food, why we shouldn't. Okay, other than the health aspects and the hormones that are in it, eating a dead animal does not transcend into your body. It does not allow you, it will never allow you to exceed or excel to your full potential because you're having something dead inside you. So imagine the energy you're going to put out to the world. Imagine what good could possibly come out of that. It doesn't. People be like, you don't miss meat, you don't miss fish, you don't miss this. I was like, I miss the taste, but I don't want it. I don't need it. I recreated it in a plant-based way. It's the same spices. Would you dare eat raw meat? No. Would you dare cook minced meat with no seasoning, with no oil, with no nothing, and just eat it like that? No, you'll smell it. You'll smell that disgusting carcass. Like, it's really bad. So what's different? If I give you something that looks like it, like I said, looks like a duck, tastes like a duck, but it's
called a duck.
And it's called a duck. So if I give you something that looks like meat, chicken, fish, and it tastes like meat, chicken, and fish, but it's plant-based, what reason do you have not to go plant-based?
Absolutely none. Especially, like, you talked about duck and you've recreated it. You talk about the chicken, you've recreated all of these flavors. So ultimately, what you're doing is you got to recreate that texture. And then it's all in the seasoning, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
It's all flavor.
Yeah. It's all flavor.
And
it's marination and flavor.
And even that flavor in, say, your roasted chicken or whatever that you're recreating, even the flavor, if you eat the chicken dish, it's still coming from the spices, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not coming from that skin or that breast or whatever, that flesh.
No. You want texture of skin? Use rice paper. It literally molds into whatever you want it to be. Yeah. Whether it's chicken skin, chicken skin, duck skin, whatever type of skin. It's like, even like you can make crispy bacon out of rice paper.
Do you have crispy bacon on your menu?
It's coming soon next week.
Woo! I'll be there. I'll be there for that.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I love bacon. I used to love bacon, and then I watched Dominion, the first 15 minutes of it, and it shows the pigs.
That's the one documentary I can't watch. There was one girl I used to work with, so every time we used to just like hang out and talk, and she would like tell me about these different documentaries. I swear, she tried to play me Dominions. Not even 5 minutes in, I'm like, I can't watch this shit. And she probably watched it a million times, and she would cry a million times. I'm like, why would you want to do that to yourself?
And she's not vegan?
No, she's vegan.
Oh, okay.
She worked with me in Veganity. Yeah. So, like, literally, like, people don't seem to realize out of sight, out of mind. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. But there are some people that need constant reminder. But at the same time, that eats you alive. Knowing something that's there will eat you alive, and that you haven't done anything about it. Like, okay, I'm not an activist, I'm not protesting, go save the pigs and go save the cows and all of this stuff, but I'm trying to do what I can do. And that's all anyone wants. Do what you can do.
I mean, as soon as you get that ball rolling, I do believe you can make a huge impact.
Yeah.
And a huge difference. I mean, you look at you, like you say, you've been vegan like 3 years now. From the moment you went vegan to today, to opening the restaurant, the meal plan, do you think how much of a positive impact that you've had on people's lives? How many people have probably gone plant-based, if not vegan, if not become activists, through what you've created?
Yeah.
That is a form of activism. It's not direct action, it's not in the streets.
Because it's what I could offer.
Yeah.
If I could offer TED Talks on how to be the best vegan in the world, I'll do it if I knew how. But what I know how is how to cook.
Yeah. But I'm sure they will offer you a TED Talk. Everyone wants your opinion on everything. I saw you doing, you did a cooking video with news channels. You got more coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone wants to hear your story and to kind of understand why and how you did it.
Yeah. There wasn't a magic recipe.
Just 250 magic recipes.
I believe in fate. I believe in the universe. I believe what's meant to happen will happen no matter how hard you fight it.
Do you believe this was your destiny?
If you asked me that a few years ago, no way in hell.
So what changed?
I felt like this was the one thing, even though I'm very talented in a lot of things, by the way.
You should hear her sing.
Yeah. It's the one thing I actually truly felt like made a difference to myself and to the world. It actually made me feel like this can change the world. This was my fingerprint. This was my mark.
Do you want to change the world?
Yeah, of course. Ever since I was a kid, I always knew that I was different in some way, that I wanted to make a difference. My dad used to always tell me, oh, we're all non-existent. We're all like drops in the ocean. And once we're dead, you'll never find it again. And that really resonated with me. I was like, no, I wanted to be that one green dot where you can find me. You know, somehow, some way. I know that sounds really weird, but it's true. Because I was like, I don't want to just be born to die. I don't want to be just like everyone else, get a degree, go to work, have kids, get married, do whatever the hell you want to do, and then just die. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. And I've always been the type of person, I've always wanted to do good. I wanted to help out. I wanted to, whether it's a charity or to give food to the poor or to do something that was different. And I've always loved being in the background. I never wanted, even though it always came to me, being in the spotlight and all of this, but I never wanted that. And I think this was my chance to actually put something out there that did good for the world, that didn't harm anyone, didn't harm any living creature, and it actually worked. And by doing that, it helped me. It helped me survive. Because, like I said, before Veganity, I was into journalism, I was into music, I was into production, I was into a lot of things, but I felt like it was ripping my soul out of my body. I felt like it was killing me, and it was killing me. And I couldn't sleep at all. I wasn't eating right. I thought I was eating healthy. I thought I was okay, but I wasn't. I was far from it. I was basically crying for help, and I had to fake smile in front of everyone's faces, and no one knew I was dying. No one knew I was drowning. And then, literally, it saved my life. It was like an epiphany. Honestly, it was like a euphoric epiphany moment. When I became plant-based, and the way my life changed so quickly, by the way, it didn't take 6 months to a year. It took maybe a couple months. Like, literally, I was walking around, waking up, it's like, I don't want to get out of bed. Everything is black. Everything is gray. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to see anyone. I don't want people to look at me. I didn't want to deal with anyone anymore. But then when I became vegan, the grass became greener, the sky became bluer, I was happy, I was jumping, I was energetic, I was excited, and then everyone saw the difference. Everyone was like, wow, like you literally did a 360.
But why do you think that happened? Why do you think just removing animal products from your diet?
Because I felt like that I felt dead because I was eating dead animals. That bad energy was going inside me, and it pulled me. It was pulling me down into a hole. And I really resonate with energy. And like, it came to a point, especially after I went plant-based, I was going gym 2-3 times a day. I was quirky, I was running, I was moving, I was jumping, I was happy, and I was like, oh my God, veganism, vegan, why haven't... And then I got pissed off for a while, by the way.
Yeah.
I got pissed off, like, why didn't we know about this before?
Why not? Do you think they're hiding it from us?
Yeah.
Do you think society generally does not want us to be vegan?
It's not society. Everyone is I'm not going to say everyone's a follower. Everyone follows what's in front of them. So if it's not in your face, how will you know about it?
I mean, look at disease. People say disease is hereditary. They say it's genetic. But ultimately, it's just because you've learned the lifestyle of your parents. You mimic what they eat. Mm-hmm. You eat the same stuff. You live the same way. But if you change that, which you've completely done, like
I don't believe it's genetics.
No?
I don't. Like you said, it's a lifestyle. It's like a nature versus nurture factor. If you're going to live the same way as, let's say, if someone got cancer. We're all born with cancer cells. It's not a new epiphany. It's not a new thing.
But it's really a disease of the 20th, 21st century, isn't it?
That's genetics. We are born with cells. Whether we activate those cells or try to tame those cells, that's up to you. So if you're going to follow the footsteps of your mother that smokes 2 packs of cigarettes a day, then so be it. But you can't blame it. Oh, it's genetics. No. You know that you're going to trigger and activate your cancer cells. The same with any other disease. Like, let's say, okay, I'm going to talk about my mother. She smokes morning till night, drinks coffee morning till night. She's like the last person to give a crap about health, okay? But she's happy doing that, so be it, okay? My father doesn't smoke, doesn't drink coffee, or rarely, or tries to like be healthy, and he was always into sports and always into like a healthy life, and he's the one that taught us about like nutrition and all of this growing up. But she was healthier than him when they did their blood tests. How? You don't know. And then I remember when it came to a point she got really sick. She got emphysema. She couldn't breathe. This is later on. And then I told her, Mom, just try being a vegan. Just go on a plant-based diet for a bit. She was like, okay. Within a month and a half, maybe, out of nowhere, she's like sending me videos that she's at the gym. She's like walking and running and going to classes, and she felt so good. And she was like, I haven't felt like this in so long. And then it just comes to show you that it really is the food.
Yeah. Whether
you're not aware of how the food is being made or the animal cruelty or the backstory of how it is, but it's science at the end of the day. It really is science. If you're going to eat clean food, clean meaning plants, then you're going to take that energy from that raw natural energy, and that's what you're going to live on. That's what your body is going to process. But if you're going to have dead animals and bacteria and pesticides and all of that, which will still live in your body, and it's so hard to digest.
So what do you think that, I mean, at the moment I'm debating and conflicting in which words to use between vegan and plant-based, but let's say the population in the UK is between 3 to 7%.
What?
Vegans.
Okay.
Why do you think it's so low?
Because of awareness.
But do you
awareness and because they made it so cheap not to be vegan. Like, you can get a 1 pound burger or a 99 cents KFC meal in America.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Even look here,
and
Burger
3
King.
apples is gonna cost
Burger
you
King.
£1.20,
Buy two big burgers with fries and onion rings and a milkshake. I don't know what for 15-20 dirhams. Like, they made it too easy. And at the end of the day, the whole world is going through a recession. So are you really gonna care about your health, or are you gonna care about your pocket? Are you gonna care? You're gonna pay your rent on time, pay your electricity bills on time, or are you gonna care about being vegan?
Yeah.
You can't, like, a lot of people get mad. Oh, you have no excuse. And you say that a lot, by the way. You have no excuse not to be vegan. And I get where you're coming from when you say that. But you don't think of the other side of the world. You don't think of the other side of the story. Like,
which people are we talking about?
I know a lot of people that have messaged us in. Be like, please, I'm dying to be plant-based. And all I'm eating is lettuce and salads and this and that. And I can't cook, or I don't have time to cook, and I don't know what. But eating too much beans, I'm getting sick. I'm eating this like this, I'm getting sick. And I don't know. But I can't afford it. Or I can't afford your meal plan. Or I can't afford this and this. And then I try to get to know them. There's one girl, and she has an amazing job, and she's supposedly having an amazing salary. So in your head, why can't you afford it? But what you don't know is she's paying for her mother's cancer therapy treatments. She's paying for her siblings' schools. She's paying for everything, like literally their house, their bills, their this or that. And she's probably left with maybe 500 dirhams in her pocket out of having a 20,000 dirham salary. We don't see these things. Yeah. And then you want to tell this person, come pay me 2,000, 3,000 dirhams for a meal plan? No, I'll go get my 15 dirham McDonald's. Like, we don't see that. And it's really hard. And if it wasn't for my meal plans, I wouldn't have understood it. So when people do say, yeah, being vegan is too expensive, it's not too expensive, but they made the other side way too cheap.
Yeah, I often use that when we talk about plastic, because the problem isn't the other materials being too expensive. The problem is plastic being too cheap. We made it way too cheap, and that's why we have so much plastic in our oceans.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to, I say there's no excuse for animal abuse quite a lot, and I'm aware that I do say that. Yeah. And I'm aware there are a lot of people on low income, and that.
Did I put you? Did I put you in your place for a second?
No, I mean it's fair enough. I do say, and I do genuinely believe that 99% of people can be plant-based and vegan. Obviously, you're going to have exceptions, health reasons, or I don't know. I'm still trying to find that one health reason that would stop you from being plant-based.
Yeah.
But ultimately, if you look at third world countries, you look at what they eat, it is 99% plant-based. You look at the cheapest things that you can buy: rice, legumes, lentils, pasta. You look at, the problem is, vegetables are extremely expensive in a lot of places, especially if you're going for organic vegetables. That is expensive. Yeah. That's due to the subsidies of the state towards the meat industry, towards the dairy industry.
Yeah.
The problem lies there. But I still think it is extremely cheap to eat plant-based.
Again, you automatically said it's cheap because it's basically rice and beans and lentils, and then you said
fruit, vegetables.
And then you said fruits and vegetables are kind of expensive if you want to feed it to the masses. Okay.
Technically, they shouldn't be.
Going to my meal prep mentality.
Yeah, because you obviously buy a lot of them.
You cannot eliminate a food group from your diet, whether it's small or big. You cannot just say, oh, have rice and beans and you'll be good. No, because without the fibers. No, I know. So if you personally should not and cannot do it, you can't do it to the third world struggling, surviving people. You can't tell them have rice and beans every day. You can't tell them, oh, just whatever, just to get by, just to have that. You need to have every food group in order, it's sustainability, in order to survive, in order for your gut to function properly. So you can't just tell them have rice, have this. No, they're going to need their spinach. They're going to need their, iron. They're going to need their tomatoes. They're going to need their potatoes, sweet potato or whatever. Even if it's a luxury, like king oyster mushrooms or mushrooms. Do you know the medicinal benefits of mushrooms? But do you know how expensive this shit is? It really is. Like buying one box, okay, I get it. It's not going to kill you. Imagine buying like 500 boxes a day to feed. Could you do it? Would you invest in it?
Well, if I knew the medicinal benefits, would be a good start.
Yeah, but let's say if you were trying to just be a humanitarian. Okay. And you don't have a billion dirham bank job, whatever. So you're working on a moderate salary, but you want to do good. You want to feed these people. Right. Would you be able to afford to pay for all of it? All these different recipes and ingredients? No. So how can you go and say and preach that, oh, they can thrive on a plant-based diet when they really can't? Because it's not just rice and beans and nuts and whatever. It has to be the whole thing. So this is why it's so much easier to kill one cow to feed all these people with the rice, with some random potatoes and carrots and whatever. Because at the end of the day, this is what they can afford to give them.
Yeah, okay, like, that's going into the third world perspective of it that we were talking about. But earlier we were talking about the 15...
What's the percentage of the world that's not third world?
It's small.
Yeah, it's very small.
Yeah.
Did you know UAE is considered third world?
No way.
Yeah.
Why?
Because technically it's a Bedouin country. It's a land that built itself, it's a man-made land that built itself up within the past 45, 50 years.
Yeah.
We live on a desert. Technically, we should just be living with the camels in the Sahara doing God knows what.
Yeah.
But no, look around us.
Yeah, you got Burj Khalifa over there.
Yeah.
Huge
Cheese
buildings. Cheese grater sitting
Yeah.
next to a swimming pool, you know. It's
Yeah, like the luxuries this
Yeah.
country has provided makes people want to be like, oh my God, Dubai. Like, this is the place.
Yeah.
You go anywhere in the world and be like, I want to move to Dubai.
Yeah, talking about branding and how
Yeah.
Veganity has been branded very well. Like, Dubai has been branded in an amazing way
Yeah.
as well. If you look at it, you go abroad and it's true. Like, it's like
Yeah.
when you say you live in Dubai, it's the same way as you say, I don't know, I work for Apple or I work for like Nike or...
I'm from Hollywood.
I live in LA. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of been branded in that same way. Whereas if you say, oh, I'm from...
Like, you were recently in LA.
I was.
And I was asking you a question, or you were telling me how you went to Hollywood Boulevard and you went to all these places. And the one thing you were shocked was, and this is a first world country,
This is showbiz.
was how many homeless people you saw.
It's incredible. You literally walk to the end of Hollywood Boulevard and there's a bridge.
Yeah.
And under that bridge, there's about 50 tents of homeless people.
Yeah.
Right next to the Walk of Fame, you know, and the stars and all that stuff. And there's such that separation, that divide.
Yeah.
So close. It's so sad.
It's a thin line.
Yeah. I mean, even if you look at, say, we always talk about the 1% being part of that 1%.
Yeah.
Rich. And to be part of that 1%, I think you need to earn, in the US, about $400,000 a year. That's a lot of money. But if you say, like, if you take the 10%, it's a very median salary. That means you've got like 90% of the population that's broke. That's struggling on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And it's true, like, to come to those people and be like, you have to eat vegan, you have to eat whole food, plant-based. It's true, like we were talking about earlier, you do what you can do. You can't force it on people.
Yeah.
But
Like-
do you think, okay, because obviously you see the limitations of it, of preaching a single message to the world, but do you
Yeah.
think we will ever see a plant-based world?
No. Because like I said, anything that needs to be mass consumed needs to be genetically modified. So whether it's going to be vegan or plant-based, it will somehow, some way become genetically modified in order to replicate a toxin. It's not about plant-based eating plants. It's about something being toxic for you. We understood that eating animals is toxic. So whether you replicated it into a plant-based version doesn't make it good, does not make it better. And we will never have a sustainable world, as wishful thinking as it could be, but we will never transition to that section. Because you still have those farmers that has that one cow that they raised for years and years and years for cattle, for them to eat personally, saying, I'm clean, my cow is clean.
Yeah.
How dare you come to me and talk to me about it? You're talking about the corporations that are mass killing animals. They don't care if they're surrounded by dead animals or bacteria or diseases, or like I was talking about this. Actually, I was talking with you when you were talking about the outbreak of mad cow disease. That didn't happen out of nothing. That happened because of how the animals were treated, where they're being placed, what they're being fed. So it's all human beings doing this.
Yeah, but if they were treated better, would it still justify it?
Yeah, but that does not make it. Even if they were treated better, or they could be treated a lot worse, it still won't open people's minds to want to have a plant-based world.
Yeah. I mean, I stopped saying vegan world, because if you were to have a vegan world, that would mean a world where
It's
like
filled with cancer, hot dogs, burgers, processed shit.
yeah, there's that, and then there's the aspect of it. Vegan basically means like no harm, so no one would like abuse dogs. There would be no murders. Whereas that world will never exist. Like there's always going to be cruelty. There's always going to be criminals. There's always going to be murders. That's always, sadly, always
like
gonna
now
happen.
there's this new thing. Someone asks you, are you plant-based or are you vegan? And then recently I've been hearing it. The person would respond, I'm a flexitarian. What the hell is a flexitarian? They're like, I'm flexible. I'm whatever I want to be. I want to eat my junk food vegan food. I'm going to eat it. If I want to eat my whole food plant-based, I'm going to eat it. I'm a flexitarian. And I just started thinking, I'm like, that is so true. It's like people are asking you that question nowadays as if, what is your religion?
Yeah.
Like, what cult have you come out of? Like, I really started to see all of these things. And then I realized, like, now when people ask me, I'm like, I'm just me.
Do you think there is a cult in the vegan movement?
Yeah. Major. I feel like for some reason people think that they are better than each other somehow because they are a certain type of vegan or they're a certain type of plant-based.
So you're talking about cults within the vegan movement as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like, you're a better vegan than me because you fed a cat today. Or, you know? Like, I swear. Like, it's so petty.
Yeah.
It really is so petty. And I'm just like, okay, this is why I didn't want to be involved. I didn't want to focus on that aspect. Like, just come and enjoy the food.
Yeah.
Enjoy being with your friends. Enjoy life.
So how come we as a movement, let's say globally as vegans, plant-based, flexi vegans or whatever you want to call it, how do you think we can actually get this message across in a better way instead of genuinely just pissing people off?
Oh, you can't. You will always piss someone off.
Yeah.
Because people tend to stray away from whatever is not normal to them. I will never be the same as the person next to me, and you will never be the same as the person next to you, and everyone will have an opinion, and opinions are not welcome.
Opinions are always welcome on my podcast.
On your
I love
podcast.
opinions.
That's why you just look at me with a deathly stare.
As if I would.
Yeah. No. I really feel opinions are not welcome.
Yeah.
Because that's what triggers an argument. And that what triggers a conversation that people don't really want to have.
But what's the difference between an argument and a conversation? Because, like, technically, you could consider that we disagree on certain things.
No. Having two different points of views and trying to come to a conclusion or an analysis to why I think the way I think and why you think the way you think, that's a debate. But for me to get heated, oh, I'm not going to talk to you anymore because you think like this and you're not like me and I will never do that and you are this type of person and it became like that. It really did. So it's not just being in the vegan community. That's how the world works in general.
Yeah. So it's all been an exciting year for you. But what is the difference between having the idea of opening a restaurant and the reality of it? Because every vegan's dream, isn't it, to open a vegan restaurant?
Yeah.
What's it like in real life?
It's not every vegan's dream.
Okay.
No, like what if I was a vegan that wanted to open an animal rescue shelter?
Do it.
Maybe. I'll leave it to you with your 50 million cats. You know? You're the cat lady, but in a man version.
That's fine. I'm the cat man.
Yeah. Ooh. That should be the name of your, your new name.
My rap name.
Yeah. Oh my god, you guys, this guy can rap.
No, he can't.
He can.
He really can't.
He can flow and everything.
He
sounded like another, what is it? Little Dicky?
Little Dicky.
Yeah.
I'll insert, maybe, depending on how confident I feel, I'll insert a snippet of it.
I think you should.
Big up to all the apples and tofu lovers out there. You ready? I see better with my eyes closed. I wish I could see behind doors closed. I hear their screams when I'm asleep. The skies just run too deep. I don't care, you think that fur is chic. What would you think if I skin you alive? Like any living being, you would fight for your life. It's not like you need it to survive. Ain't no going back.
I think you found a new calling in life.
Yeah. Well, I got a new microphone. I thought I'd try it out.
Yeah.
And I was just making really weird sounds on it. So I was like, hey. And I was like, this is quite fun.
And then you went all like Tupac and shit. No.
Yeah, I get carried away sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my calling. Maybe I should stop this podcast and just start my rap career tomorrow.
No, then what would the vegan community do without you?
I'm sure they'd survive. Go to Veganity. So then, what is the difference between the idea of having a restaurant and the reality of it?
It's surreal. Like, it was all fun and games when we were doing it, going through construction, and when it was still a concept, to actually opening, like, there is no day off. There is no, I can make a mistake today. There is no. It's very vigilant, very in order, and you have to get everything right.
Yeah. If you were to go back, let's say a year, to, that's more or less when you kind of started the whole idea of the restaurant, is it? What would you do differently?
Found better contractors.
That's a very valid tip.
That's a very valid question. Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change a thing. Because, I don't know, like, everyone keeps asking, why pink? Why the tree? Why this? Why the sign?
Why did you go vegan? All that stuff.
Yeah. Like, I learned to, like, I'm so sick of my own story, put it that way.
Well, that's why I didn't ask you.
Yeah. I fell in love with the color scheme. I fell in love with the vibe it gave me. I fell in love with how everything was so closed out together and personalized at the same way. If you think, like, if you've been to Veganity, you see how the couch booths are and how there's a partition separating each one with a box, because I want you to feel like you're in your own world everywhere you sit.
Yeah.
So I want it to be an experience that you will remember. It will be an experience that you know that you made yourself. Like, you can talk as loud as you want, you can laugh as loud as you want, you can request a song if you wanted to. Like,
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Because in case everyone noticed, that does come, it's always hip hop and R&B. So I do like suggestions.
Yeah, and there's a lot of vegan hip hop artists now.
Yeah.
So I found out. Not that I know anything about hip hop. But what would you say? So what's your end game? What's your end game with Veganity?
There is no end game. I want to open a lot more.
Okay.
And the smaller models, like I said. I'm going into clothing line and shoes very soon. I have a cookbook I'm launching next year. And I have another vegan concept coming out very soon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you sleep ever?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
When it's worth it. What's the point sleeping when you're dreaming while you're awake?
Wow. I think I just have to end this now.
My job. Yeah.
No, I mean, it's incredible, like, everything that you've got going on, everything that you have done so far.
Yeah.
And that it's still ongoing and you have more ideas and you're still just as passionate about it. Were there times when you're like, you know what, fuck this, I just want to throw in the towel and go and disappear and live on an island somewhere?
No.
I feel like that every day.
That's how I knew this was it. This was my calling in life, because I didn't feel like that.
Yeah.
And so many things I've done in my life, and I've worked so hard, or I trained so hard for, and I'd just be like, I'm done. I'm just done. And this is the one thing I'm not done. I don't feel like I feel like I haven't even begun.
Very nice.
So that's how it is.
If I offered you $100 million, would you sell Veganity?
No. And someone offered me $100 million, and I did say no.
They offered you $100 million?
Euros, not even dollars.
Euros. That's even more, isn't it? Wow.
And I said no.
I think that shows real commitment and love to what you're doing. And it's something that I often talk about when it comes to anything. Whereas if you remove the money factor off from it and you do it just because you love it, and just because that's what you want to do for yourself, and you focus on you, not the quick game, like, get out, sell it off and move on.
You know why? If it was someone else, they probably would have done it.
Yeah.
But why that wouldn't be for me is because I fought for it. I struggled for it. everyone sees me, oh, it's probably daddy's money, or it's probably she did this, or she had an investor and she got, No, I literally slept in my kitchen. I literally worked day and night. I worked so hard for this. Why would I want to sell it off? No one's going to bring me back the tears I cried. No one's going to bring me back the sleepless nights I didn't sleep. No one's going to bring me back my mother being sick in hospital and I couldn't be by her side. No one's going to bring back those days for me. Why would I give it up for money? Why? I want to build a legacy. I want to build something that's going to actually make a difference. I don't want to be the next Fortune 500 corporation that's going to sell it off to the stock market. That's not the point. With the meal preps, I made a name. I created a brand. Now the restaurant. Now the world knows about the restaurant. Franchises are coming along. My wholesales are coming along. My new ventures are coming along. And it's all going the way it's supposed to be in its own time. I will not rush it. If I'm not ready for something, no one can force me. But this is how it is. Even if I have to work day and night to get to where I'm supposed to be, and if it, like I said, if the doors are meant to open, they will open no matter what, and you will walk through it. But if that door does not open, no matter how much you scream and cry and bang and hit yourself against the wall, it will not open. So right now I'm in a path where, thank God, every door has been opening the way I need it to. And without me looking for it, without me struggling for it, it's been a smooth ride. And that's how I knew this is my calling in life. I cannot be bought out of this because I will have nothing left. I will have nothing left. Because this is literally all I want.
Wow.
That was a very passionate podcast.
That was deep.
Yeah.
And I think there's no better way to end it, really. Because normally I ask a question like, how would you do this or how would you recommend?
Yeah.
But I think, honestly, in what you just said, I don't know, you explained so much on literally just find what you love, give it your everything. And it's about so much more than money. However, if there is anyone out there that wants to offer me $100 million for the Plant Code podcast, message me. I might consider it.
Who knows? One day it might be worth a lot more.
We'll see about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sky, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
It was my pleasure, 100%. Once again, Veganity restaurant in Dubai,
Yes.
City Walk for now.
Yes.
More opening soon in cities near you. In the meantime, follow them on Instagram at Veganity.
Yes. At Veganity.
Anything else you want to add?
No, thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure.
It was the first time I agreed to do a podcast, an official podcast.
I'm flattered that
I
you
don't
chose
regret
the
it.
Plant Code.
So whoever does want to do this with him, he makes it pretty easy.
Thank you, Sky.
That's the year that they're saying's our last. Unless we make a change now when we gotta be fast. But first we gotta make a shift in what we put in our mouths. See silly billies thinking vegans eating grass on the ground. We talking fast food, yo, it's burgers and fries. And it used to hurt the earth and the birds in the sky. But now they making it with plants and it's so much better. Cause the animals are safe, no more changes in the weather. We better act fast cause the ice barely freezing. The world's changing quick, so welcome to Planet Vegan. Woo! Damn man, can you feel that? This place is getting hot. If we wanna save the world, it'll take some work. If you wanna make it better, then take off your shirt, wave it round your head, and jump into the streets. The revolution starts now. Can you feel its heartbeat? If we wanna save the world, man, we better be quick. Cause we're killing all the piggies and the cows and the chicks. And I gotta be honest, I ain't a fan of our fate. But we can make a change now, and it starts on our plates. All around the world, it's a brand new dance. What you're making out of bodies, yeah, we're making out of plants. We gotta save the pigs and the fishes in the sea. So hold on to your pants, Planet Vegan soon to be. There's a change up in the system, I can feel it in the air. But it benefits us all, there's no need to be scared. We're gonna change the world and we'll do it in a day. So don't fight the future, Planet Vegan's here to stay. If we wanna save the world, it'll take some work. If you wanna make it better, then take off your shirt, wave it round your head, and jump into the streets. The revolution starts now. Can you feel its heartbeat? If we wanna save the world, man, we better be quick. Cause we're killing all the piggies and the cows and the chicks. And I gotta be honest, I ain't a fan of our fate. But we can make a change now, and it starts on our plates.
Massive forest fires have once again decimated the Californian coastline.
Iceland just held a funeral for the first glacier ever lost in the country's history due to warming weather patterns.
Europe was just hit with the hottest temperatures in recorded history.
Thousands Thousands of people are already dying every year from climate change-related issues, and this number is expected to rise exponentially over the coming decade.
Okay, this apocalyptic nightmare's about to be real. Forest fires, oceans flooding, let it fill you with fear. A billion refugees running across the borders in pain, and they're drowning while you're saying you're refusing to change. Slaughterhouses filled with bodies and they're letting out screams, but you're saying it's a lie, that it's only a dream. Let me tell you something, man, the nightmare is real, and you're paying for it daily with your supersized meal.